Okay, sorry about that. No microphone, and I've been talking for this whole time. So, good. Long story short, I moved. I'm on a laptop at work, and yeah, we're gonna try and make it happen at work. I didn't get, we just moved, so I wasn't expecting to move that fast, but we moved that fast. That is very interesting. Pre-market highs, pre-market lows. Tried to break above pre-market highs, could not break above pre-market highs. So we're just gonna continue to monitor this, monitor this. Do need a little bit of music though, don't we? Let me see here. Let me see. Nothing really yet. Popping back into pre-market highs is actually not bad for us. Uh, okay, I'm not gonna get a really good chat here. All right, chat's not gonna be up there. Let's see here. Let me get this off. Make sure we're all gravy there. Yeah. So, anyways, good morning. Hope you guys are having a good morning. Throwing a little bit of some music this morning. Scrambling. I'm 15 minutes late to the market open. Man, oh man. So notice on the 15 minute we have a little bit of it almost broke, tried to go higher, came back into the range on the 15 minute. That is this could see more downside, but as far as the 5 minute, not a trap yet. So kind of borderline. Gonna see what's gonna happen. Let's just go like this. Oh, we're gonna have to listen to ads, I think. We'll listen to ads in the beginning. All right. All right. Let me know if that's too loud, because things can get a little loud here. All right. Nothing too crazy yet. I'm going to chart out some trend lines in a second. I don't think there's any active trades here, so All right. Studio. There we go. There we go. Cut the sound there. There we go. Got the chat up. Perfect. All right, here we go. All right. Oops. Trying to exit as much of the stuff as I can. All right, good morning, good morning. Here we go. So we have that, we have this. I'm gonna be checking I am on a laptop, so it's gonna be tough for me to see the chat the whole time, but I'll be checking it periodically. What do we have? All right, so let's get into some charting here. So again, we did have some buyers here in the morning. Volume's kind of kicking in a little bit. I really don't like charting pre-market too much, but you did have a little bit of some buyers here, and then that second level of buyers about right here. Oops. So since there's two zones, I think it's better if we go lines. So we'll consolidate it down to the lines here. But yeah, if we dip anywhere from here to here, I'll do a zone at the bottom here. So we have our first bar right here. And since it's rolling over in the morning, it's not a true trend yet on any. I can't catch a trend here yet, but we do have our first top trend right here. And then we could draw a more aggressive one if we wanted to. 1 minute probably is working great today in terms of like breaks. Yeah. So we would have hit that one too right there, and that would have rolled. But I'm giving the 1 minute a hands off here for a while until I get enough data to where I could figure out exactly where I should implement the 1 minute. So 5 minute works great still. 5 minute works fantastic. So we're just going to be looking for some 5 minute setups today. On the 5 minute, we did break out of pre-market highs. If we would have tried to go higher and then came back down into range, this would have been a nice short. And again, the 15 minute, this still looks a little trappish to me. It's right there. It's borderline. Let me see here. This is not pre-market high though. That doesn't make any sense. This is pre-market high. Right? Yeah. All right. Well, then that's not trappish. But it did break out of here. So if we're taking pre-market context into consideration, which normally I don't do, but if we did, we broke out here, tried to go higher, came back down in the range. It's an argument for a downside, but here's the thing. At the first 30 minutes of the day, which we're just past it right now, I don't like taking anything within the pre-market range on the trap side of things. I'll do it on trend break, but on the trap side of things, they're more likely to get eaten up as we are finding our, initial balance. So that is that. All right. So yeah, hope you guys are having a good morning this morning. Haven't taken any trades yet. We're gonna be getting going here though here pretty soon. Man, laptop, huh? All right, I'm gonna have to. Let's see here. I need to have close position and cancel orders ready. Here we go. So time and sales is just gonna have to go today. It's all right. I don't really use it anyways, so get rid of time and sales. All right, so yeah, just do some consolidation here, seeing if we're gonna get a little bit of context. If you were to take some trend, you could take some kind of trend work here. I don't personally chart pre-market trends. I like just trading the market, the main markets. So 930s here, and yeah, let's see. I need to turn off these Discord notifications that keep popping up. Let me see. Let's check out 15 minute here. Yeah, that's not too bad. Got a little bit of A little bit of some resistance here. And then a little bit right here. But to be honest with you, this being pre-market, the other one I think is the main market. Yeah, main market here. And we have increasing volume. Yeah, a little bit more right here, so we could actually scratch this one. I'd rather take this one right here. And then go like this. Yep, dipped in it twice. And then we're going to see if we have a player on the third time. So here you go. Here's your zones. And then buy side's been hitting lower lows. So kind of interesting, actually. Because if you notice, we have the 15 minutes is keep continuing to go lower, right? Channeling kind of lower. Broken. We're not above this from yesterday. Remember where all these buyers were last week? We had a bunch of buyers from this zone right here. We called out this zone. So they try to take it above that this morning. We're kind of dipping back below it again really quickly. If we break this, we may see some new lows here, but new lows. We might actually get like trying at these like 860s or something like that. Might hit out of this range, but we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Not too concerned, but here's some zones that we have to worry about, some levels. First 30 minutes of the day, so now I can start charting my traps as normal. Not traps, sorry, trend breaks. I can start charting my trend breaks as normal. So I wouldn't take any of these. It just continued to roll all morning. Yeah. I'm gonna go from here. Even still, I may not even take this one because I want a little bit more clear cut. I can steepen this now, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute, but this has kind of been rolling too, but here we are. So we have the steepening from the top side, we have our bottom side, and if this rolls out, we're gonna see what's gonna happen here. I'm gonna try and keep my charts very clean today because I'm working with very small real estate today. So, but get rid of this middle one. You kind of understand the zones from yesterday. A little bit more institutional buying right off the center, but we're going to see how the market plays. I'm not going to try and rush anything this morning. Try and catch a couple good high quality setups. I do like this price action though. It's cleaner. Yeah. For your fair value gap, people, I think there's a fair value gap right here. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, this is where we're at. If I do short this, I know I'm shorting into these buyers down here and into the pre-market range, so it's not going to be the best thing here, but we'll take a stab. If it goes red, not a recommendation. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. All right. Dewey, good morning. Hope you're doing well, my bro. I didn't get to read your messages yet. New internet, new place. I don't have internet in my house, and actually, I don't even have a phone that's on right now. It's not even charged. So I'm in my new place though, and I gotta get all those people together this morning, and oh yeah, we're gonna be in there thick. Good morning, good morning, good morning. No trades yet. No trades for me yet. We're gonna wait for this little range here to balance out and see if we're gonna make a little move here. For a sip of coffee. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I couldn't believe it, man. I woke up this morning. I've been looking at my watch. My watch has I have a world time watch, but it's like it's happened to me before. That's why I'm like, why didn't I do this before? This is so dumb. Um, World time watch. I set it last night. I was trying to set it to, West Coast basically, and everybody's trying to sleep, and I was fidgeting with it, and I couldn't get and I said, forget it, because sometimes it goes through like a whole world time settings. I gotta click through like 30 countries before I can get back to the Pacific. And I'm like, once I just got to New York, I was just like, forget it. You know what? This is good enough. So I was keeping track of my time off New York. I thought it was 5 o'clock in the morning. It was 6 o'clock in the morning actually when I readjusted it, and I was like, oh no. So market opens 6:30 for me. So I was scrambling, but no trading opportunities yet, anyways. But I just wanted to kick the stream up, so that is why I'm late this morning. I'm streaming from my laptop, Dewey. Streaming from the laptop is just at the barbershop at work. So laptop at work, still on their internet. All right, 1 minute left on this candle. You know, expecting a bounce right in these two areas plus pre-market lows, but it's past 7:30 or 10 o'clock, I should say. At 10 o'clock, I could start using this trend as a channel. So I may take this short here. I'm not in love with it. It's not a recommendation. It's just been kind of and by rolling, if I was to take a trend off the first two, this one broke immediately, so this one doesn't count. This one doesn't count. This one did technically break, but the problem is I don't take these rollover breaks in the first 30 minutes of the day because they're likely to get chewed. So same thing with this one. This one just kind of rolled over, and now at 10 we have our first stuck trend here. So now if this wick goes more than halfway, I'm not going to take this bar either. Notice there's buyers right off that line. See that? And it's not because of these guys. It's because of these guys right here. This is where that buying came into play. This is how it is. See how it tapped it and came back up? So I was saying if we're going short, I could almost fade this setup in the mornings. This is a setup I could almost fade to the upside, but I'm not going to because I also don't have enough data on that. But how I would fade it is I would go long here, put my stop here, and then go about 1 to 1 here, which would be nothing, 24 points. But as you guys know, I like to take a 3-point stop on the NASDAQ. So this would have been the entry and then fade it. It works sometimes. I just don't have the data for it, so I can't fully confirm that this would be it. 100 points down from 20,264 to where it got a while ago. Pretty wild, Dewey, right? 100% retracement of the opening, yeah. 100%. It is 100% retracement. This should be really good for your strat, shouldn't it? Because playing off these levels in a range, this is nice scalping. I think, right? Especially if you're taking the volume off this open here. I would think your ATR would work really well against this. And the RSI probably is working pretty well because this is showing overbought, overextended real quick. I mean, without even looking at it, but I'm assuming. Yep. He's all, yep. So Dewey uses a combination of MACD, RSI, and ATR. There's also a couple nuances in there, but he's basically formed a strat based off of this little, I would say more intermediate strategy. It's not easy to see clearly. You got to kind of know what's going on. But his scalping strat would work nice in these contexts because it deals with overbought, oversold, and then divergences, right? The divergences meaning maybe we have a same high, but the strength is not quite what it was. So divergences are going to make it to where you can assume that the market's weaker even though it's at a similar high or similar low. Ideas like these, you incorporate ideas like these into the into a strat with ATR, and you can find areas to bounce off of, and that's it. Samu, hello from Germany. Thanks for being here, bro. Appreciate you, Samu. Yep, and the VIX. I forgot. Yep, and you incorporate some VIX. Samu, welcome to the stream, bro. Thanks for staying here. Frequent flyer. You get some travel miles, dude. Had I had the mindset of a true trader, I would have gotten the initial high and short, I think, right? Initial high and short from 8:45 to Eastern. So Trader DLS, Dewey can send it to you, but basically VIX puts pressure on the Nasdaq and on the main markets. So if the VIX starts going up, the volatility index starts going up, right? Sometimes that could be a leading indicator in how the Nasdaq is going to reflect, usually to the downside. But if it initially spikes, it's usually to the downside. But you could do the same thing with bonds market, the bond market, and different things like that. But yep. Just continue to float down here. Again, I didn't take this trade. This is just an example to see my fading idea. I'm forward testing this idea. It's all good. We're here. We'll be here. We'll get it. I'll get my camera on here pretty soon. I'll actually have an editor here pretty soon. So this will be nice. I love it. All right. May get tapped out here. Let's see what happens. Oh, well, I didn't actually enter the trade, but I'm just saying the idea. So typically, what I used to chart this as was a short. So I'd go here, take this, go 1-to-1 short right here. This would be the entry right here. And then I'd go short here. But I noticed that if the candle is, let me get rid of this real quick. If the candle is bigger than halfway, my what's called entry candle, which is this candle right here, if the bottom wick is bigger than halfway, it's more likely that it will fail. It doesn't mean that it will fail, it's just more likely that it will fail. So it actually sometimes will fail so much in a certain context that I started playing the inverse a little bit, but we're going to see. We have new lows here. This is a new pivot for me. So all right. Let's see what's going to happen. Almost got ticked there. Now we have buyers here as well, but and then we have our pre-market low. We're going to see what's going to happen. Again, we're dipping our toes back into this range, right? This is where that second level of buyers were. It's first level, second level. See how we kind of popped in there and it's trying to buy it up again a little bit. So something to keep your eye on. Dewey's linking some shots about the VIX. Hard for me to see on my laptop. I'm trying to look. I think the VIX popped up overnights. Yeah, I should just chart the. I'll have multiple charts here pretty soon. Multiple scenes going. All right, so 15-minute, a little bit of a trap, like we're talking about. This could be actually headwinds. Yeah, headwinds. So let me get rid of some of this. I'm gonna clean up the chart. Like I said, I'm gonna keep this chart clean. So which this very well could be a bull trap here, right? In true context, 15-minute, I still have a lot of work to do to fully have all the data for this strategy. But if I was trading the 15-minute and the trap, you can count the pre-market context as a trap, which here you have the highs here, right here off this candle. See how it almost just barely broke it, right? Barely broke it. Broke the highs and it broke the bodies and then came all the way back into range. This technically is Um, and then that previous trade I think would have almost got filled by now. Um, so basically, it's probably not a good idea for me to trade to the upside until we've cleared either both of these. So, but 15 minutes kind of 15 minutes sometimes is tough to take pre-market into context. I just haven't. Trust me. I put thousands of hours into backtesting, and there's still thousands of hours that need to be done to get into this. All right, tap this first level of buyers here, right here, all these tapped a little bit of traced. So you had two buyers here, right, off the morning. So we're tapping into these areas to see whether we're gonna get back into this. So these zones are newer to the strat too. These aren't incorporated with house blend, which I call my strategy the house blend combination of a few different strategies. And with that, I really do like it though. I do like what I've been trading here. I'm not trading, but charting here with these zones and these areas. Fantastic, actually, um, because it gives me a different perspective on how I approach different trends and stuff too. So, like I said, a lot of work left to do, but my house strat's done. I don't need to do anything more to the house blend. So, house blend's done. I'm just adding little seasonings with it, trying to either turn up the efficiency on it or just get a broader perspective of the market. It's not that you need that to be profitable per se, but I just enjoy it. So it's a puzzle, right? So we do have this little break here. Now I know we're running into buyers down here, but if this bar does go red, as per the house blend strat, I'm supposed to short. So, and then we have new institutional selling here, right from this level here. So this will be our player on the market for the live markets here. Yeah. All right. If you joined, you're new, don't forget to hit a like on the live stream. Appreciate you very much. Thanks for stopping in. You didn't see me, but I'm doing hand gestures and stuff to my camera. I'm already acting like I got a camera on right now. Mm. So let's see. This candle goes red. I'm gonna take a short, not a recommendation. And really, I don't really love it anyway. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars down, and we're running into buyers. I don't love it, but I have to take it. But I don't love it. All right. So notice the volume. Buy volume started tapering off. Typically, that's typical for the morning, right? Big orders need to get filled, and then slowly the orders kind of taper off. People are telling the institutions, buy this, buy that, I want this. And then, after that initial balance kind of ends, a lot of the orders get filled. They might look to fill other orders, but maybe the naturalness in the market starts to come in. We see the volume picking up to the sell side. So when you have a big sell side volume like this compared to this buy side volume, even though this is higher overall, the sell side volume really picked up and was consistent. We should see, if we do see retracements, unless the volumes are really big, right? Unless we have some really big volumes here, we're going to be running into these players again that were selling the market pretty heavy. And yeah, this could get a little heavy here. 2 minutes left in this candle. If this candle goes red, I am going to go short. Not a recommendation. I'm not a financial advisor. We're going to see what happens here. The song's kind of heavy for me this morning. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. I'll leave it. One minute, 20 seconds. We're going to see what happens. Buyers right here. So again, this area is before I developed this strategy. So I know that it's a little early if I was thinking off of a bounce here. If anything, I may be looking to take positions to go long from these buyers, right? To see another bounce off the initial buying that happened. But given that these buyers are failing, this is adding pressure here because buyers are getting satisfied at these levels. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Really excited. Good morning, by the way, new people that just joined the stream. Appreciate you stopping by. All right. If this candle goes red, I am going short. Not a recommendation. By red, I mean white. White is red. We are in a 15-minute short bull trap here. A possible bull trap. Under technicalities, it is a bull trap. So I will be hitting this short. 8 seconds. Do not, not a recommendation. 2, 1. I know I'm running into buyers. A little bit of slippage there. Did not get a good fill. Actually, if we retrace, I might double up if it comes back up to here. So what is that? Another 10 points, another $20? Yeah, let's see. Can I get right back up here? I'll give myself a 3-point stop here. Let's see here. Yeah, about right there. All right. Let's see here. Where are we at? Looking for a 103. All right. Let's see if we get this fill. That would be umbrellaed under the 15-minute. Technically, I could umbrella it, but again, this 15-minute breakout on the pre-market context, meaning if I'm using pre-market data to make an influence decision here on the main markets, which is not typical for me to do, if I was to do that, I just do not have enough data. But that does not mean that it doesn't work. I've noticed with the 5-minute, when I try to take some pre-market stuff into context, it doesn't work as well. Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm saying. Need the data. So I'm charting this as a possible wind here, but this is my 5-minute strat. I have tons of data for this. Even if it stops, this is a profitable strat overall over months of like 9 months of data, profitable consistently. Not every single day, but it is consistently profitable over time for sure. And I don't think I've had a negative week, 1 week from backtesting. If I was as I execute, if I executed well, there's not one negative week here, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So buyers, like I said, these are where your buyers are again. Looks like they stepped in again, right? So if I was actually playing this downside, which, where are we at? 79? Do I want to risk another 20? No need to risk another 20. Maybe I just risked another 20. I didn't put it away fast enough. That's okay. So this is where our previous kind of sellers are chipping in a little bit. Really, this selling right here is what I like. If I was going to put a stop anywhere, I want to put it up above here or above here, but the risk to reward now is too little. So Buyers are where we knew they were. Buyers were right here. They stepped in again. And now we're going to see, all right, is there going to be new buying interest up here at these levels? If there's new buying interest, this will take up. If we can't find new buyers, it's up to this buyer if he's going to feel satisfied or not, or he's going to be hungry the whole time. Because if sellers can't feed him enough, this thing is going to continue to go up. If sellers feed him enough, then this thing will, it's too much food. It will continue to dump. Good morning, good morning. So I'm going to take a hit on this as I, realistically, I knew buyers are here. Called that out. I didn't feel great about going into this short, but I just have to run the strategy. The strategy has just been profitable over time. So, and there's a stop right there. First stop of the day. As expected. So, why did I trade it? And that's because I know that over time this strat works really well. So we have sellers here. So we're going to be between these two players in the market, right? And this is during the day. So we have our buyers here. And we have our sellers here. New sellers here. This is sellers 2 technically. Sellers 1's up here. Well, technically that purple one up there, way up there is sellers 1, but we'll get to that later. All right, buyers 1 here. Sellers 2. Sellers 3. So even though this could rip, I could technically, eventually, I get internet. When I get internet here, I'm going to play just zoned strategy. I'm going to do it on a new Combine account. I'm going to have my regular house blend strategy over here. I'm going to have another strat trading both of these because I'm giving out these call outs with, and when I say call outs, I'm calling out the theory, right? The theory between the buyers and sellers, where would be a good interest in, where I would look to buy, where I would look to sell. Love to sell at the 2020s, right? At least for a little bit, you can do a little 50% scalp or whatever it is between these two zones. Look for it to sell off, retrace, bounce. There's all kinds of different things. Nonetheless, buyers came in heavy, need new buying interest, and this is where we are. Just a little market. So this is for later. Some sellers that we ran into in yet Friday's session, but intraday we're right here between these two markets. Took a small little hit, 50 points. This would not be a trap, even though it came to come higher. Maybe at this level, you can consider it a trap. Maybe the green would have came up here. If this green broke, tried to go higher, came back down in the range, that would probably be considered a trap because you have a few bars of context. We don't have that context though. All right. Did have a good week last week on the strat though. Again, not trading the 1 minute. I am curious to see how it looks though. Yeah, the 1 minute's actually looked good. The one day I don't trade it, it's like, oh yeah, this looks actually pretty good. Looks good in the sense of here's your first short, second short, and then yeah, your third one didn't go. Fourth one didn't go, and then it just didn't let you in for the remainder until this point right here from pretty low. There's another short here. Yeah, so all of these shorts basically worked today, besides maybe this one. That one still might have worked actually. 1 minute's working. Another break. I'm still not going to touch it because I need to get more data, but 1 minute's actually not looking too bad. I I didn't do a ton of back testing, but just from the few days that I back tested the last week, just trading the 5 minute, if I would have stuck to the 5 minute, I think I would have made another like $1,200 more off micros instead of taking the little jabs in the morning off the 1 minute. Couldn't believe it. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna stick to the 5 minute for till I get a little bit more action here. I need to take a couple payouts with these Express accounts, and when I get my computer set up again, which should be, well, it'll be set up today, but internet's not going to be here today. So this is a bit of a bull trap actually on the 15 minute. Oh, I think I'm supposed to be in.
Order filled.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be in for one here. Did not catch that in time. That is unfortunate. So this is off the these two candles here. Notice that we broke down below them, tried to go lower, came back up into range. So my entry should be at 85 on the 15 minute. So if it does come back down, I'll actually average down. We are running into these sellers up here. This thing could still roll over, but this is what I'm supposed to take. So it's unfortunate. I'm not used to getting a 15-minute setup this early in the morning. Guess it is an hour in, but nonetheless, we'll see. If we get a little bit of a pullback, I'll probably enter one more here, give myself a little bit better entry. But if not, let's try this out. So now I can look up. So now, a little bit of context here. Basically, we were in a down trade, so I'm not supposed to look up, but I can get out of that trade as long as it is another trap. So we got in with the trap, I can get out with the trap. That's how that works. So 1.75, we have to run through these sellers and get up into these sellers to do that, though, and that is quite a bit of heavy lifting here. 191. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get another fill here. And then if we retrace down here to these buyers, I'll probably end up taking a couple more contracts long here. If we come all the way down. I don't know if we will, but if we do, yeah. So since that, what is this candle at the close? So I'm supposed to be able to take this break too to the upside, but so technically should be in for 2, but I'm going to be in for 1. Missed that a little bit. Actually, hoping that it comes back and fills me here. Wanted to tap me here. If we come back down here, I'm going to grab this one too. So from a theoretical standpoint, we're just between these two players today. We are trending down, putting in new lows. This is our first higher low here in a while, like a true higher low at the bottom of the range. I guess this was a higher low too, but that cracked it. Yeah. See if I get a little tap here. See if it get me. Come on. Fill me out. Oh, there we go. Good. All right, in for another one. Just a little bit closer to the fill. I'm supposed to be in for 2 anyways, off the 5-minute break and the 15-minute trap. So this looks very range bound. We're going to be consolidating here for a minute unless we crack one of these levels. I'm going to be putting my, let me see where we're at right here, 3. So my stop's going to go 24. Oh, we'll put it a tiny bit bigger beneath those buyers, just a smidge beneath them. So I would be interested in buying a couple more right here. We'll buy one more because of the range. Maybe 2. There we go. All right, another one right here. So notice the volume kind of outpaced the sell volume, even though the sell volume cumulatively was bigger than the SPY volume. This isn't too bad. The only little bit of a drawdown, by the way, I got to change this music because it's killing me right now. 1 minute RSI at the 60 line. Okay. Saying the strength is overbought on the 1 minute, which remember with time frames, if you're dealing with small scalpy time frames, they're only going to carry the weight from its relative timestamp, right? So if you're trading the 1 and 3 minute as a pair, the 1 and 3 minute is going to reflect that, and your trades are going to be in the context of 1 and 3 minutes. But if you're trading bigger time frames, 5 and 15 minutes, 1 and 3 minute don't carry as much weight in context. I'm not saying that the Dewey already knows that, but for people who are newer to trading, that's what you have to keep in mind. Because if you're using a 1 minute for a 15-minute context, it's not going to carry as much weight. Sorry, I need to get a different music. That's way too chill, making me fall asleep here. Yep, here we go. Let's see what we're at here. All right, if these shorts get eaten up here, it's up to these sellers here. If we break through these sellers, then we're going to dip back up into here. I'm going to see what's going to happen. Got a bit of our average in there, which is nice. Little 2-bar there. Have a true trend here. Let's see. Can't really see off that. There we go. Yep. Oh, that's really tough here. Right there. So open, we put a new low off the open. For taking pre-market theory into context here, this is where we're at. We tried to go lower, ended up getting bought and all up by these buyers again. Trapped to the upside. We're in a 5-minute context as well, added a couple points pointing to the upside. Should only be looking for longs here unless I get some bearish, couple bearish indicators. Again, we have sellers up here. Market's a little bit weary about getting it up to these sellers up here. So we're going to see. As we enter into these previous sellers, it's up to the buyers to satisfy those sellers. If they satisfy them and they're like, we still want to buy, we go up here to sellers one up here. So kind of in between these two ranges here. If we can't find buying interest up here, naturally the price doesn't go up with no buyers. So we'll continue to see where we can find buyers again, which they've been down here. So we may find them again down here. That's why I have 2 more. I'm going to be one of those buyers down here. But it also gets a little bit sketchy if we can't find new buyers up here when we found them up here, because these guys are trapped a little bit. So those are things to keep in mind in terms of context. As far as what I'm concerned, I'm just trading the strategy. So I'll take another $80 of loss. Let me see, $25, $100 a loss. So this would be $381.50 if I get tapped out on this red here. Things to keep in mind. Bullish potential. So Dewey says I use the terms bullish potential versus bearish potential and not overbought, oversold. As a true RSI says. So the book taught use RSI 30 is oversold. Yeah. So typically RSI less than 30 is saying oversold and more than 70 is saying overbought. That's like a standard, but the way that Dewey trades, Dewey's trading under a different context. When he's saying bullish and bearish potential, he's taking cumulative things, including the VIX, to the VIX, the RSI, MACD, ATR, and able to see where, if you're having multiple points that are saying short, then you can build a system around that to see where bearish potential, meaning the more potential would say more things pointing in that direction, or this is where more people will tend to it's reacting basically around this area. Same thing with the buyers. And he instead of keeping the extremes at 70-30 with an RSI, brings it in a little tighter with the 60-40, and that lets him get in a little bit earlier. And he wouldn't normally be able to do that if he didn't have other indicators helping him point that direction. So he's able to be a little bit more risk free, not risk free because the market could still be bought up or sold, but when you have multiple areas, well, we'll use the word confluence, right? When you have multiple confluences uh, pointing the right direction, that's going to make it to where you're going to have a little bit more confidence, and the market has a better chance, like he's saying, potential, a better chance, more potential to react in certain areas. So um, the tricky part with that strategy is you may find these points, but it can be hard to catch trends. It can't. You might find a good entry, but it can be hard to catch trends. So I'm sure Dewey has a system for catching trends as well, but scalps really. You call yourself what? More of a scalper, Dewey, or more of a? I know it changes depending on the day, but you seem like from the context that I've seen more scalpy, right? That's all good, Dewey. You know what? Yeah, scalper. So Dewey's a scalper for sure. No, scalping's nice. A lot of trades. I like it for psychology. Yeah, scalp in the direction of the momentum in the market. So if the market was trending up, he'd be looking for pullbacks that look oversold, where maybe the ATR, average true range, is, and kind of keeping his eye on the VIX to see if the VIX is going down and whatnot, and finding entries based off of that to find scalps in the direction of the market, which is what most beginners should be doing, is trading in the direction of the market. Today, we're not in the direction of the market. We're range bound, right? Technically, a little bit more volume to the downside today, right? And we put in a lower high. So technically, this has a little bit more bearish sentiment, but because of these buyers here and the way that they reacted and the way shorts are trapped here, I'm able to take a context long, and this is what my bullish potential would be down here. So based off those contexts. This is some heavy music right here. I'm gonna skip this song. I'm not feeling that one. That's a little better. I didn't like that. That was a little too heavy for me this morning. All right, we have another pullback. Put in our lower high here. Now it's up to these buyers, like we're saying. There's a lack of buying interest, right? Buyers stepped up here. Boom, boom. Lack of buying interest above these levels. See how the volume's starting to taper off though? So not real selling yet either. Not real heavy selling yet either. But if buyers cannot get serious up here, it's naturally going to just start fading, right? Even though there's not aggressive selling happening yet, like I'm saying in terms of majority of aggressive selling, it's just going to float until you find those big buyers again, which were down here, down here. So yeah, that's kind of how we're looking this morning. Now, if we come back down here again, sellers get real heavy into this area. We don't know what's going to satisfy these buyers, right? And that's why when we come down to the buyers again, if they have a million orders that they have available, and we filled 300,000 here, 300,000 here, that means they only have like 400,000 left. So if the sellers come in and eat up all 400,000 of those, what the buyers had left, once they're satisfied and there's no more buying, then it naturally we're waiting for sellers to just overpower them. But then we go to the same question. If there's not real selling at this level and sellers are kind of like tired, it's just going to slowly just kind of stay here, float back up until the market finds buyer sellers again. It's just rinse and repeat. It's a basic understanding of which really it's not super complicated. Um, what's complicated is uh, building your strat and sticking to your plans. Those are the complicated parts. So this volume is going to be key here. I want to see how this volume reacts. We got a minute left in this candle. I'm going to cut this 2 here. Cut this 2 limit. Even though there's buyers, I know there's buyers down here because of the lack of buying edges here. I was hoping for like a big wick tap run up, big wick tap, boom, run up again. That would give me confidence as a buyer. But because we're kind of slowly drifting down and we're finding a lack of buying interest here, I'm feeling less confident about being a buyer at this level. So I'll stick with my initial level here and yeah, see what happens. Get my take profits all the way up here, about 100 points away, a little over 100 points away, based off the 15-minute context. So let's see how that works out. This technically is a little 2-bar, but wouldn't be in that context here. But we do have a little bit of a 2-bar break to the downside. Because of this big wick, though, that's one to be looked at. Get rid of this. This is where we need buyers, but we get strong buyers above here. We're going to get back up into the test of these big sellers, and that's going to be the moment of truth there. 7:50 a.m. Oh no, you're good. In between these two ranges here, pretty much in the middle of this. So if this trend breaks to the downside, it's going to put a lot of pressure on these buyers now, because we'll have a true second. So with trends, why trends work, and I'm going to explain this as a hypothetical in theory, right? I'm going to leave this trade here. I'm not worried about it yet. I'm keeping an eye on the 15-minute, but let's just go over here, for example. Trends work not because there's an imaginary line that just flies through the screen. And let me find a little bit better example here. There we go. Yeah. Let me see. It's gotta be a little bit better when that was that choppy day. I'm trying to find like a range bound day. This isn't bad here. So why trends work is because when sellers step in, right? And again, you don't necessarily need. I put wick to wick because I like wick to wick because I want to see the tippy tip of the momentum shift. But you could do body to body, right? Body to body is a way to do trends, no problem. So let me see. That would be like roughly like body to body would be here. Body, body. You could do body to wick, wick to body. You could do all kinds of different ways to draw trends. I have a video on that, by the way. I'm gonna change this music down a touch here. It's a little loud for me. Skip that song too. All right. So why trends happen is because sellers are selling at a rate, kind of like a rate of change, but they're selling consistently at a level right here, right? They're trying to maximize their profits if you're a big firm trying to sell. So when they come up, they're trying to get a little bit ahead and sell, and then it comes up again and sell, and you know they want buyers to come up because they don't want to just dump this thing and get poor pricing. They want to sell at the most profit they can. So when the rate and all these sellers kind of cumulatively sell into these areas, when the selling starts to slow down and this trend crosses, this means that buyers are starting the momentum shifting with the buyers. So even though the sellers, the rate of that change is staying pretty consistent here, the buyers, when they break it, it's not just a line that's being broken, it's buyers that are shifting the momentum. Now the momentum shifting to the upside, right? So I could just draw my trend, doesn't matter where I necessarily put it, whether it's the wick or the body. The bottom line is the trend is shifting, right? This is why you could draw channels instead. You can have a channel that's a little bit of a range, and this is the range of buyers that are happening here, right? So and when it breaks and we have a consistency, we can have another channel that's happening here, right? You could put this however you want it, but basically that's the idea, right? You have another channel that's happening here. Now how aggressive that happens tells you some more information too. So if it's really aggressive, right? And then you have you see how this angle almost looks like a right angle here? This area here. So just as aggressive that these sellers sold is how aggressive that these buyers are buying, right? And if the rate changes all of a sudden, see how the sellers are starting to flatten out a little bit? They did break it a touch. So you technically could have drawn a little bit more aggressive of a channel here, maybe somewhere around here. Let's get parallel. It broke it again and got even more aggressive to the upside. So there's ways to see aggression without actually basically I'm explaining trends. I'll stick to trends. You're just seeing the selling momentum shift with trends, right? These are channels technically, but they're just two trend lines make a channel. But so seeing that shift, you're just understanding, okay, are buyers really aggressive here? Are they, you know, is the momentum shifting? Because you want to be, if you're in a short and you see the momentum shifting, it may be an idea to start to plan to get out a little bit of a trade. By the way, not a recommendation. I'm not a financial advisor. Trading is extremely risky. Trade at your own risk. But in theory, it may be an idea for you to scale or someone to scale out of a position as the trend breaks. And then there's different ways to play that market, right? 100%. But that's the idea with trends. Trends aren't there to just be an imaginary line. You're trying to speculate, is the momentum shifting, right? Now I have a systemic approach, which means a little less theoretical. Even though I'm saying theory, my system is just a working system that works with theory. I'm trying to incorporate more theory too, because the theory comes realized once I've done the back testing, right? It's no longer theory. It's it would be data, hard set data that's actually on the market. I need to change this whole thing, this whole music thing right now. This is too chill. I'm gonna fall asleep. I dig it, but it's just too much. Too how do you say? They're keeping me in the middle. It's not changing enough for me to actually sit there and vibe. It's kind of lulling me. Let me see. Space jazz? Ooh, maybe. Let's find out here. Add. So when you consolidate between two ranges, right? When you're consolidating, this is saying that neither the sellers or the buyers really have a hold on the market yet, right? So that's what makes it a range. The range is we don't know. The market's deciding where it wants to go because it's kind of just as much sellers are participating as there are buyers, and we get this even market. So when you get a trend break out of a range like how we're ranging right now, this is in theory saying the momentum starting to outweigh to the upside, shifting to the upside, or the momentum shifting to the downside if we break the downtrend, right? But that's why trend lines are there. They're not there just to be lines as a tool of measurement, basically. Although you can measure with them. But anyways, there's my rant for the morning, and those are ways to think about trend lines as opposed to just being a trend line. All right. So right in the middle of this range, nothing much I can do here, right? You're between these buyers, sellers. You could say that the buyers kind of reinforce this position here, right? They stepped in again. And with the sellers, you could say a very similar thing with the sellers here. They've kind of stepped up into this position here. So we, same thing with the range, right? There's this either lack of buying influence, lack of buying interest here or lack of selling interest here, right? And the buyer just continues to kind of outweighing each other here. So this could be technically labeled, sellers 3, and then we'll put light because it's light volume, light, everything's kind of tapering off. And then we could put our buyers 2, light. So light meaning that these areas usually are, unless the volume's telling us something different, this volume isn't as, these guys aren't as strong. These are more likely to get ran through, both of them. So again, theoretical, not financial advice. Trade at your own risk. I'm in early because, let me get a new chart that's clean here. Let me see. Let's open this one here. Let's get a chart that's clean. I'm in early because of this right here. This, not this on the 15 minute. Because when we try to take it below this open, try to go lower. We broke it, try to go lower again, and the buyer here ate them all up to the upside. So what that says to me is that not only do you have shorts trapped here, we have a player that's down here, a big player. That's why we put that line there, right? There's a player down here that's very interested in taking the market up. So with these shorts being trapped and the player buying, I'm looking for a follow through to the upside. Now we did have the same thing that happened here earlier in the market, right? Which was interest to go short. You have this area. Let's see right here. It barely broke it. Tried to go higher, came back down, and we continued short until we found the buyer that took it. Now we're probably gonna go back up to this level. See what we're gonna deal with. Is the seller still here? But I like playing either the heaviest volume, which this is actually the heaviest volume of the morning, or the most recent trap. So in this case, I'm playing the most recent trap, which is at the bottom of this range. It's kind of tough to tell with volume. That's another theoretical thing, right? That I need to back test. Is that have a matter in the issue? If the sell side volume is higher than the buy side volume, delta is going to tell you that. Is there a bigger delta difference here than a delta difference here, right? Sell side delta, meaning more aggressive sellers than buyers, and then more aggressive buyers than sellers, which obviously there were, but what's the count difference? Was it like, was it like 5,500 sellers here that ended up getting aggressive here, and then even though the volume was lower, was it 7,500 buyers, right? In theory, this could give us a clue to whether the market is going to be outweighed this way. And then we could even add these buyers here. We can add these buyers here possibly to this as a clue. So there's a lot of different ways that you could look at this in terms of price action to help refine the quality. It just takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. But those are theories, right? Again, we are having a little bit of a break here. I don't know if you see it, but this is our first bar break on the 15 minute. So we're going to see how this kind of goes into play here. Plus the 5 minute. Notice that we broke and clean on the 5 minute, but we got to get up. Let's go to our not clean chart. We got to get up into these. So we're getting into these light sellers here, but this is where the real selling's popping off here. So we should expect some rejection here, up here at these levels. So if we can get past these light sellers to begin with. Again, all of this is theory. And it's not even necessarily theory that's like from is Powell speaking a little later? Oh yeah. Could be a Powell run up. Could be a Powell run up. We'll see. Powell always gets... A Powell run up is a real thing. All right, notice buyers kind of eating this position up again. Reinforcing. If we close above here again, then we're going to have a new level of buyers right here in this area. As it came back down into this area, we'll have a new level of buying. I'm out of coffee. This trade is going to take a while. If this bar goes green, I have to add another one to the long, as per the rules. Let's go on the clean chart. So again, with the trends, right, as the selling ramped up here, buyers kind of took a little bit of momentum shift away, but overall, still heavier with buyers. Went down again, broke that shift again here with buying. What does that mean? That means that we're expecting a little bit of shift if we can continue with this buying here. So 2 minutes left. If we have 2 green bars off this break, in theory, that's stronger buying than 1 green bar, right? But the idea is if you had it bought and then half of them got eaten up, it's not super solid. By the way, we are if and by we I'm saying me and my strategy. Um, if this tried to go higher, so how we broke out of these bodies here, right here, broke out of these bodies, tried to go higher, came back down into the range. This is a bull trap. But since I am in with a trend break, I cannot trade the bull trap. But this is what it is. So if this closes down here, bulls are trapped. Up to buyers to step in here. If they don't step in here, boop, we're going to see if we can get down to these buyers again down here. Now, volume is going to give us a clue too. If there's a lot more sell volume than buy side volume, we could see a continued downside. Although I'll still be in my long. Notice the volume's ticked up now. Now we have some volumes heating up, as it were. See how we got near these sellers and started to sell off again. So buyers couldn't even take it up to these sellers up here. And since this zone, buyers did come in here, since sellers aggressively sold into that, these sellers are still here. And if a volume gets up there, I'm taking away that light. I'm gonna put a little bit heavier. All right, 20 seconds left in this candle. Big trap here. Again, this is all theory as far as these buyers, sellers, and the zones. Not a trading recommendation. I'm not a financial advisor. Trade at your own risk. Candle close short there. So it's up to these buyers down here now. Notice we're reacting here to these buyers. So now they're kind of battling it out here. Go to our clean chart, see that that trend break didn't work. Boom. Try to go higher, got rejected all the way down. I don't know if you were if in theory, if you were a buyer and you got in on the trend break right here at the close of the candle, you wouldn't be feeling too hot right now. Whole thing just got eaten up, right? So there is that. So supposed trap shorts here down at these levels and a strong buyer. So we're going to look to see how the market reacts to these levels. Although there is sellers up here as well, right here. You could say here, right here. Could say the whole block, but I'd say more like this. So with this in mind, we have an area here where we broke out of bodies close to. Actually, we lined the bodies here. So this is not technically a breakout. Tried to go lower though, came back up into range. Now, with it being touching the line, let's see here. Let's get really specific here. With it touching the line, going lower, coming back up, eating back up these shorts again. Now here's an argument for this is technically a trap here, but how much are trapped here? I don't normally take these breaks or these traps per se, but with how being in consideration of the 15-minute trap and having this 5-minute trend break and another trap here, if this whole candle just gets eaten, I may look to take another, because that could be another point of added pressure to the people who are short in these positions. So something to keep in mind. Dude, Dewey. Round of applause, please, dude. First full-time trading. That's what I'm talking about, Dewey. Well done, sir. Hoping to join you January. I'm telling you. Congrats. I'll type it in chat. Triangle, the Dorito. Yeah, just kind of like consolidating, right? Did have one little break here. Now the question is, do I buy at the minute because it's technically a trap? It's a little it's a less quality of trap. I'd say like a C plus trap, B minus trap. So normally the quality I wouldn't take under normal circumstances, but in consideration of this context, I kind of like that I have other buys already set up, and this is looking good to the buy side. So we'll see if this candle gets like right here-ish, not too high. Like I don't want to get it if it's kind of way up here again, just because it's averaging. I don't want to really average up too much because I already got like 10 points of slippage on that first trade that I entered. And then it just creates the risk, a little higher risk here. But I can kind of clap that idea though right here. So that, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Starting to engulf a little bit here. Boom, 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 boom. As long as this body doesn't get above this wick, I'm probably going to look to take one more. Let's see. All right, I got him for one more. Let me see here. Let's see, 177.75. And all that's going to be umbrellaed under the 15-minute. Going to look to stop one out here. Right down here. All right, let's see what happens here. It's getting a little wider, right? So, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Let's go back to the messy chart. Now, with these sellers now, with them getting eaten twice, we could say that the sellers are probably more like right here. More like right here. Probably say some of those sellers got eaten, and there's still some that remain here, but majority of them were been eaten up. And then the buyers are still strong. So yeah, the buyers hasn't really done much of anything. The bodies haven't closed into these buyers. Yeah. Let's see. Still have this downtrend right here to work with that we're still running into. So let's see what happens. If we engulf again here, all the way to the downside, then we're going to start getting into that nasty price action again. But we got news dropping. What time's news dropping later today? I don't even see news. Powell speaking when? Oops, that was an accident. Go to the clean chart. Doritos. I forget who. There was another trader that called it the Dorito pattern. I forget what it is, that triangle pattern. Someone said Dorito pattern, because it's fun to make names, because some of these names are just wild and outlandish. But at the same time, it's kind of fun. Welcome to the stream, by the way. If this is your first time here, don't forget that like button. Hit the like button. You can subscribe. Trading Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 9:30 Pacific. We're going to be going over recaps, market recaps. We're going to be teaching the house blend pattern. We're going to be, there's another strat name, right? I'm going to be having my camera going here pretty soon. The stream's going to be up and running. It's going to be nice. A lot of info. I've traded a lot of different strategies. I understand a lot of different the context, but this one I've liked so far the best for my psychology. Love this in terms of psychology. So, welcome. appreciate you being here. Getting a little bit of a break here on the 5 minute. We'll see if it sticks. Having a hard time here. See that? Sellers are still present. Or just a lack of buying interest. Now, if this turns into a trap and this candle goes red, this is going to be very difficult for me to decipher, because we'll have technically two bull traps. If this comes back down and touches this range, I might clap my whole trade if this happens here, because multiple bull traps in a similar direction can denote like some serious weakness to the downside. So if this bar can't get green, stay green, hopefully it doesn't chop all the way back down before I get out of this position. But two indicators are saying it goes down being under the 15-minute umbrella, even though we have a trend break here. Two traps is very strong for a downside move. So I may close this trade if this bar goes red enough. If it dojis, I won't. But if it's red a decent amount, like back down, so we're going to back down here a little bit, I may clap this trade at 200. I'll clap it. I'll reverse it, because it's going to be really tricky to hold into that position. Yeah, see, I'm going to get my finger on there. I don't want to go reverse because I only want to take one. But see, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I'm going to clap this one. I'm going to sell one. And this is going to be my new, let's see here, 2075. So this isn't the easiest to manage here. Although I know that I'm under a 15-minute context here. I know it. Being in a situation where there's two traps consecutively, bull traps, that is how do you say, it's not really giving, how do you say this? So the strategy calls for me to reverse the trade on a couple areas of reverse, basically indicators, right? But I'm also in for 3 to the upside. The trouble is, though, is two traps. Every time two traps have occurred, pretty much that I've seen, they've been successful to the downside, or successful in the direction of the trade, right? I may even, I'm going to add one more. At charting, this is going to be tough, though, because I don't think I've actually ran into this in the market before. Or if I have, it's been very, very, so 2, we can go 2 to 1 here. If that's the case, I can go 2 to 1. Probably won't matter if I get stopped out anyways, but this is where we're standing right now. Just going to give a smidge above this because I want to see it tap these sellers first. I want to see how it reacts in tapping the sellers out. So I'll give it a little bit of room. Actually, I'm going to take one more while it's up there, because I like having this trade on better pricing. This is nice. All right, and then this one is going to umbrella under that one. So did I put that down there already? Okay. We're going to see what happens here. This is going to be very interesting. Very interesting. If this comes back red again, this is also what's called an anomaly, as one of my traders called it, trading friends, trading acquaintances. Very interesting here. Not the easiest to trade. Getting a little bit, you know, I'll call it disgruntled. But yeah, widening here. Now, yeah, we're gonna see. This is tricky. I don't like to just reverse a 15-minute, so this was not done lightly. Very tough. Looking at a bigger time frame again for some perspective. I have a 2-bar here. 7 minutes left in this candle. If this breaks 2-bar again to the upside, then this is going to be another positive affirmation for the long on the 15-minute. Super difficult getting different directions here. So yeah, tough. So if this bar goes green on the 15-minute, I have to cut and go long, according to the rules. Getting a little turbulence here in the strategy. A little bit tricky. I think I'm in the right play, though. I think this is what I'm supposed to do here. So this just is one of those things that doesn't happen every day. It actually doesn't happen every week. I think I might deal with this once a month. All right, let's see. If this breaks, tries to go higher again, comes back down, I might actually go like, I might actually add like 5 contracts to the downside. Not even lying. If this anomalies, I'll add as well. So breaks again. Breaks again, barely. It needs to run all the way back up here. I'm going to add like, yeah, I don't know if I should just go heavy. Let's see. I'm going to go two more here. 2 more, 3 more. Let's go. I don't know. This is a tough one. I'm just gonna stay where I'm at. I want to add one. I'll go one more. I'll go one more, 1 tick above this. That sounds good to me. Or just at the tick. Really tough. So I just want to get a little piece of the better pricing. If this goes up again, tries to go up, comes back down, I'm gonna add a few down here. Just gonna see if I can get one better pricing down here. So this is saying that supposed bulls are trapped up in these areas, right here, right? Bulls are trapped here, supposedly. And if they try and fail again, just want to make sure I'm giving myself another room. I don't want to get stopped and ran here. This is a tough thing, man. I'm already giving it 6 points of 6 points of stop, which is a lot. A lot more than I'm normally giving it, but because of this context, I'm feeling okay with it. I'm feeling actually, yeah. All right, so if it comes up, touches me, comes back down, that will be, I'm going to add like 3 or 4 down here. Not a recommendation, by the way. Trade at your own risk. Not a financial advisor. Let's see what happens. This is going to be very interesting. So at the same time, there we go. All right, got 1. At the same time this is happening, if the 15-minute closes green, I'm supposed to go long. Because it carries more weight. So, all right, here we are. We're dipping up into these first sellers to see. Oh, don't stop me out. Come on, this is where sellers are supposed to kick in. So, oh man, almost. Oh man, if I would have got stopped and ran, that would have been so obnoxious. All right, so 2 minutes. I'm happy that this happened early because that gives the candle time to come back down. If this comes back down here again, I'm gonna add like 4 short. If it stops me out, it is what it is. That was a really tough context here. Every time it's tapping up in here, now these sellers are present. By the way, these guys, I don't know about these guys, but we'll see. I'd say for them to tap this area up here, it's pretty interesting. Very tricky. Very tricky. Almost got stopped out there. What are we, like a point away? Point away? Okay, so if this goes down, that'll be 3 traps to the downside. I'm going to add 3 more if that happens. If we rip, I have to close the trade and take a long. Oh, joys. Such a tough trade to manage. Uh-oh, might get it here. Oh! This is unbelievable. 1 minute left. This has got to stop me out, right? It has to. 1 tick away. All right, there it is. Okay. So buyers are officially, well, not officially. This would be a really big bummer if I got 1 ticked out again and came all the way back down. I would still add 3 down here, but I would be bummed because my pricing was so good up there. So good. All right. Really tough. I'm telling you, that price action was really tough to trade. Buyers are still strong. Notice the tap back into that area again, ripped up. So 30 seconds left. I have to get long on the 15-minute context here. I'm going to get long with 1. Really tough. I'm just following rules here. So just sometimes it's like, you know, your delta hand in poker or something like that. You're like, wait, am I supposed to check raise here? What am I supposed to do in this situation? All right, 8 seconds left. I'm going to take a long here with 1, not with 3. All right, here's 1. All right, let me clean this up a little bit. So we're supposed to go 15-minute 2 break here. Volume wasn't there, though. Oh, Lord. Got to cut this trade. Because the volume needed to be bigger than at least this side volume here. Volume wasn't there. I have to take out of that trade. Okay. A lot of different confluences here. I'm going to check it on the 5-minute. If we get a break on the 5-minute, I could take the 5-minute, but I just couldn't take the 15-minute. 5-minute volume needs to get, it needs to get up to at least this guy right here. It hit above this one. Need to get above this one. Yeah, that's disappointing. So now if this volume comes up and gets stronger, this one gets pretty strong, I can actually take the long on this 15-minute context, but multiple different situations here was pretty challenging. I'm going to cut my mic for 1 second. Okay, so 2 minutes left. Broke out again. If we come back down here into these levels where all these wicks got clapped, if we come back down, I will feel really strong. If we come back below this, I'm going short. I'm going to go short 3 because of the trap. Try to bring it up, trap again. So not a recommendation, but if I do come down below that level, that's where I'm going to be really interested in taking a short. So yeah, but if buyers stay above here, this is even though it's kind of melting up a little bit, I'll still feel pretty good about it. Let's see here. Running into the sellers, trapped out. I think we find these buyers again. Maybe. We'll see. Very, very tricky. This price action, notice how the price action's not super clear here. It's looking very just stagnant. So as long as this candle, I hope that this candle doesn't get below here, and that would be very disappointing. So if this body gets below, so if it gets into this range, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. If it gets into this range here, I'm going to take one contract. If it gets between here and here, if it gets below here, I'm going to take 3 to the downside. If it gets below here, I'm not taking any. 1 minute left. If it gets above here, I'm also not taking any. I need it to land somewhere between these two levels. See, I don't want it to go heat up too much. Don't want to heat up too much. Stay up there. So I'll take 3 here. No. 3 contracts here. 1 contract here. If it goes below here, above, 0, below, 0. This is the sweet spot right here. This is where I want it. If it goes between these 2 levels. I got 3 loaded here. It's exactly what I wanted to see earlier. Oh, no. Hope last 10 seconds it can get eaten up a little bit. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2. That is just disappointing. Okay. So, disappointing. 0 contracts. Even though this could move down longer, the measure is over, so I can't really get into any of this. Now, if this goes to the upside, this technically is a trap, but when we have all of these traps happening, these trap-esque patterns, right, I'm actually going to cool off on the traps because it's looking pretty, I'm going to type it in chat. There, I typed it in chat. So now there are bulls trapped up here. Coming down to this level is still, we could see a lot lower, and I'm assuming we're going to at least bring it down to these buyers that are here, and then it's up to this buyer, see if he wants to still take the market up. Because this candle closed below this one here, there's not enough meat on the move for me. I would have preferred it to come in this spot here. My risk would have been less, 20 points of risk, and we could. I feel like we could have definitely seen some downside here, but with it kind of coming wide like this, looking pretty yeah, pretty confluenced here. A bunch of different levels here. So yeah, really tricky. I'm gonna wait for this trend. I want to see this trend break with some volume. If it doesn't break with some volume, I'm still gonna just chill out here. Engulfed, come up, almost trapped for the 3rd time. I do feel like this is just gonna dumpster. Testing pre-market lows. I just don't, I mean, I'm not gonna do it because it's not a part of my plan, but if with how much bulls sent it in there, not too much volume though. That's where your volume was at right here. Oh, tricky. I'll be off mic for 1 second. All right, I'm back. So sellers up here. Obviously, we tap back into them again. We'll just remove some of these a little bit. And buyers down here. Um, under the 15-minute context, we had a 2-bar. Volume wasn't there though. Volume wasn't affirming this. It's like real serious buying. So I decided not to take that. And good things would have been a full drawdown, right? I did get out of the trade though. I did get out of the trade, although I did get stopped out and we wicked off, which is very, 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 very unfortunate because this is, well, we got 2 points off and then the dump happened, which all those shorts were trapped. Very tough. I can't just keep moving my stop up though. It's just one of those things. Sellers were here. I knew sellers were going to be here. It's just one of those trades. This trade idea was, I think, the best. It was just a little messy, and you know those happen sometimes, right? Now everything's going to be just super clear and clean. Now we're running into the buyers down here, seeing if they want to reinforce this position again. I say light, but you know, for them to tap 3 times, it's not super light. So the reads, I feel like I've navigated this day decent. This one was still the best trade. So that 15-minute trade, I would not have gotten out of any of my shorts here had I not gotten stopped out and then dumped. But this would have been a really good position for the shorts. And then again, I wanted to get back in here, right? Couldn't get back in because just through back testing, I've seen this get eaten multiple times to the upside before reaching a good target, and the risk to reward is less. So it is what it is. Playing between these 2 players, and yeah, it is what it is. I'm glad I didn't take this one because of the volume. Still difficult. Not easy to trade. The volume is a decent amount higher here than this one, this one, this one, this one. So if this bar goes red, I am going to look for the short here. Even though I know we're running into buyers, if this wick is halfway or more size of the body, I'm not going to go short. Not a recommendation. This is not financial advice. Trade at your own risk. But in this context, yeah, there's a bunch of these different. I mean, look, we tapped into these buyers again. Look what happens. we're just gonna play between these 2 players, right? I'm gonna develop a strategy off of this pretty soon. It's gonna take me a little bit of work. Probably take me a couple months, 2-3 months, but this is really just a beautiful. Just finding these entries to where I know they're gonna be. Man, that would have been beautiful. It's all good. There'll be more. It cleans up. Let's see, with this new XFA, we're up 440. We had a big 917 day. This is me trading the 1 minute here these last 2 days, right? So I would have been up about 300 here had I not traded the 1 minute. This is the 1 minute, and then this one I did pretty good on, but nonetheless, 6440 for the week. Stop trading on 1 minute. Today's not too bad, down 100 points. We should get closer to break even or profitable by the end of the day. But yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna happen here. New XFA. So yeah, hopefully it gives me my good chart. Yes, okay, excellent. Buyers are serious. Look at the buyers coming back in here again. See, this is tough. You could get rangy now. Now you could be like, well, you know what? I'm gonna trade ranges from now on because we're hitting between these 2 players. So I don't know if I'm gonna say light here anymore because now that we've ran into these guys so many times, they've just been really stepping their game up. So these buyers are from here. Buyer reinforcements here. They're looking to scoop that up. This is what causes your higher lows. Buyers continuing to reinforce it. That's what a higher low is. Yeah. Good morning, Tracy. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Little bit of a trap here. So breakout low. Oh man, tough. I think I'm gonna take this one.
Order filled.
All right, take this one to the upside. Even though I really shouldn't. Let's see here. Here's the wick. Broke out of the wick. Tried to come out. Came back up. And yeah, you know what? I'm going to take it. It is what it is. We're going to take this one. Put my stop 3 points down here. Let me see here. 475. Since it's a choppy day, I'm going to go 1.5 instead of 1.75. 1.5. Really, I should just be playing up into the sellers here. Should just be playing right up into this range. Take a little profit. How much profit would that be? 55? I don't know. We'll keep it here. 1.5 is fine. So yeah, the buyer bought these guys up again. We're just between these two players. We're probably going to be sideways until someone said there's news. Let me see. Let me check that news. Fed Powell speaks 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Hour 15 minutes. Oh, nice. All right. Oh boy. Really tough. Really tough. Traps into traps into traps, but getting some of that context. I didn't want to take it because of the range that we're in, but because this buyer's been pretty solid and the seller's been weakening. I don't know if you guys noticed the seller's been weakening, like losing its, we're starting to get up into these areas a little bit, whereas this buyer, we haven't even been able to break them at all. Every time it comes down here, this dude just eats them. So that's why I took the buy side, because I feel like the buy side's a bit stronger than the sell side, even though we had that big dump. This buyer is still really, really strong down here. That's my reasoning. Just in case Tracy didn't hear me, I will type it in chat. And Samu, I don't know if you heard me. All right. So if we rip above these guys now, which I'm going 1.5, which we're going to run into these sellers again. If we actually start eating into these some of these sellers, we can actually see the momentum shifting to the upside. I may have to go really quickly. We'll see. So decent move to the upside. Ran into some choppiness. Sold. I'd say this was the real selling. This was kind of fluff. Big buyer here. Buyer here. Trap dipped into these buyers again to the upside. So real sellers, they were right here. They got eaten up into a little bit up here too. Lost a little bit of ground. So we're gonna see. See if we can open up a little bit. Notice, look at that. Look at the reaction right there. Boom. We're going to see can buyers do it. I can't show you guys the footprint because I'm not on my desktop, but it would be nice to see what the footprint's doing at this level. I was considering taking profits at this level here, right ahead of this pre-market low. So, but 1.5 is reasonable for traps. So now notice with this trade, if we break below, and I was to do a measured move here, even a 1.5 wouldn't have worked. You see that? See how now the lowest we would have got is a 1-to-1? We would have bottom ticked a 1-to-1, but that's the lowest we would have gotten. And usually on traps you can get a little bit more, right? You can get 1.75, 1-to-1. I'm sorry, 1.5, 1.75. But notice that if we get above here again, this would have failed overall, which is why I didn't want to take it. Because that's saying there's just not enough meat on the bone for me. I prefer to get a fill up here, get an exit ahead of these buyers even. But really tricky day. I mean, if you're range trading today, it's not tricky at all. It's actually very simple. Sell where the sellers are, buy where the buyers are. I'm going to develop a strat off this because it works too well in theory. It works too good. I can't tell you how many days I've charted live now where I could have just range traded all day and just killed. But I only really had this theory when I, like maybe a week before, I was trading with another trader, and he was showing me some stuff, and without knowing it, I think he helped me discover something through what he was showing me. Well, I think he knew it. But it just really kind of opened my eyes again. I've been trading a long time. That's why it's always good to like. I always entertain collaboration and just listening, right? Like even though I'm not going to sit here and overhaul a whole strategy that I've developed off of what someone says. I don't think anyone should. If you guys are trading, stick with one idea and just follow it through all the way, unless you don't like it, of course. But really etch at it, and it'll help you. If you keep jumping ship, you're going to be a beginner at everything. If you dig into one, dredge into one, you're going to be stronger in that one area. Sellers are where we thought they were. Right there. See if we can get above there. Do you like the volume on this side? That's another indication for me about staying in this trade. By the way, 6, 7, 4. There we go. Another indication for me to stay in this trade. So if the volume was just all of a sudden crazy, I'd be like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this one. Tempted. I was tempted to take profits here, but part of me still feels like this is going to go to the upside. Just considering everything, I feel like there's still weight up here, unless this seller is just insane and we don't see it. Bookmap really wouldn't tell us that, right? If it was like a true institutional seller, like a true like algo driven point, you might be able to see a little flash of them, but yeah. Put in a little bit of a lower high here as well. So we got 3 lower highs, 2 higher lows. Yeah, we're gonna see. Just range bound. Would not be surprised to see this thing dump back down again to test these buyers for, you know, I'll say a third time as far as range goes, but we'll see. Nothing really much for me to do here but sit and wait. Might throw down a little bit of something else while we're waiting, just chilling out here. 5 minutes is kind of like that. You can kind of kick back a little bit. 1 minute's a little bit more involved. Hanging out. Let me make sure my thing's not blasted on the internet. All right. Let's see here. I need to make a phone call. Still in this trade. Again, projecting off where we assume sellers were. We're just going to be playing between these two players, but I think buy side, it has a little bit more ground. We're going to find out though. 1.5 is typical for a choppy day. So, oops. Ads. Find you. Where are you? Alright, let's do this. I actually have YouTube premium. That's the funny thing. Just need to get it on the right context here. Alright. So I'm going to cut off my mic. We got some music coming in. So let's chill out anyways. I'm going to make a phone call and we'll ride the rest of the stream like this. I'm going to have to cut the stream in about 30 minutes, but I'll be typing out a little bit more stuff. Still on the phone. Quick update though. Looks like this trade is starting to eat up into the sellers a little bit. Looking for that 24.25, 24.4525 level. Yeah, we're gonna see if we're gonna test, but it's starting to eat up into this. Buyers are a little bit stronger. That's just a quick update. Sorry, I have to cut my mic.
Order filled.
Got the fill there. Looking for maybe another 2 bar here, but that's what we're looking for this morning. So I ended up getting a good trade, decent context, really tough to navigate this morning. Long here. Sorry, not long here. If this goes green, I need this volume. The volume's starting to increase to the buy side, which is good. We have institutional buying. Probably happy if this happens. Looking to get above this volume down here. I want to get above here. If we can get above here with this volume on this last bar, I'll look to take a long even if I'm hitting highs. And then again, this bar right here, it would be better if I can get volume across this bar. Right here, I guess. So if we can get volume up to maybe up here-ish, above this level, it'd be better influence to go long. If not, it's gonna be a maybe. I'll see about making a decision. Coming coming back into the range, this could be a little bit of a bear trap here, bull trap here. So looking to see how this is going to play out. Still on the phone, just showing you guys where I would take my what contracts and how big size, depending. If we do a 2 bar break to the upside with some volume, then I'm gonna take the 1 up there. 0 if it dojis. 0 if we come back into a tight range on the trap. 1 if we come down to a full trap. Just an idea. Not an idea. This is what my execution will be. Not a recommendation, by the way. I'm not a financial advisor. I still want that volume to get up there.
Order filled.
Volume didn't quite get up there, but it was increasing volume, which is also a positive. So I took that as a stab. 20 points. Um, should see some continuation, but if not, we have a new buying range too, so this is gonna be something for buyers to defend. I'll mark that out as well. Sorry guys, still on the phone. Got to get everything moved over today because moved into a new house. So I'm on hold right now, but I have some towels to do it, everything like that. Running into these sellers up here, right? See how they're pushing against these sellers. Some of these sellers are getting satisfied, but still have a lot of sellers left. And buyers came in here. Now my stop is here for a 3 point here, but honestly, anything, I could technically move my stop below here for it to actually be considered decent, but I'm not going to risk, I'm not going to go 0.5 risk. So it's just better if I take a 3 point here and call it 24.75. Yep. So a little bit of anomaly here as well. Would like to see the extreme range, like at the bottom of a range for me to feel really confident about that. So I'm not going to add another one there. But we do have two here. Getting into some of these sellers up here. We'll see how this reacts. Should see if we tap a couple more times, we might see a little bit of retracement. But if we dumpster, then it's all good. Back in the trade. having a decent morning. I feel like I read some of this context, even though it was really sloppy, decent. So I feel pretty good about the trading that I've done so far. Um, Man, almost got this great short here off of these two contexts. This could have been fantastic, but top tick there. So just a couple little unfortunate things, but not too bad. We're only 50 points down. Hopefully get into 20 points here. Uh, yeah, that's just a little update. Getting a little funky in these areas. A little over a minute left here on the 15-minute. If this comes back down to the roughly, let's see here. This comes back down to the 28 level in this next minute. I'm going to be looking to go short, reverse this whole trade. So if this can get down to, let's see here. If it gets down to 28, I'll probably end up reversing this trade. Not a recommendation. Again, keeping an eye on that 15-minute. If it comes down to that level, I'm going to look to reverse, and not a recommendation. Still in the long until then. Going to let this trade run though. I do have some clients here in the morning, so I'm going to be popping off here actually right now. So again, this will be the last trade I do here on stream. Hope you guys had a good morning. I'm streaming live Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 9:30 Pacific. Look at the price action. You guys can follow, see our past previous streams. I have a couple videos on some basic strategies that I do trade. And yeah, those are the ideas involved here. Let me see here. This close above it on the 15 minutes. So not too much of a trap here, but we could see them tap into these buyers again. I hope you guys have a good morning. Thanks for joining. Leave a like before you go. Appreciate you very much, man. You guys take care.